Joining us now from Lahore is Ahmed Rashid. He's an author and journalist, has written extensively about the Taliban. Thank you very much for your time. There are no details yet of this truce, but just first of all, do you think that the infighting that we've seen within the Taliban after the death of Mullah Omar will stop after this deal, or is it still ongoing?
Well, it's difficult to say. It's been a very complicated month because after the election of Mullah MANSOUR to replace the former leader Mullah Omar, he was opposed by a number of factions within the Taliban, but the most important faction were what is called the Dadullah faction. Mullah Dadullah was a leading Taliban who was killed recently, and his supporters accused Mullah Mansour of having killed him. And last month there was very bitter fighting between the two sides. More than 100 Taliban on both sides were killed. And eventually Mullah Mansour himself was subject to an assassination attempt which has wounded him very severely. And now the fact that this truce is coming into being, I think, could be very important because Pakistan has a big interest in trying to bring the two sides together, because Pakistan has promised that it will push the Taliban into talks with the Kabul government.
Do you think then this deal will make these peace talks possible?
Well, certainly. I mean, there is a meeting of the four stakeholders, America, China, Afghanistan and Pakistan, in 10 days' time in Islamabad. And once these four nations come together and agree on some kind of framework, then presumably they will convey that to the Taliban, and the Taliban will hopefully then come to the table with the Kabul government.
Okay. Now, despite the infighting that we mentioned and the divisions within the Taliban, the Afghan Taliban, it has to be said, has been causing some very big problems for the Afghan forces, the Afghan government. We've seen some pretty bold, some pretty daring attacks in recent weeks, including in Kabul. So what does this deal mean as far as their strength? How much more difficult will it be now for the Afghan government forces now that you have these two groups coming together?
Well, I think it will continue to be very difficult because, first of all, we've seen the Taliban fighting through the winter months. Normally they take a break because it's too cold. This year they fought in many different areas, including, as you said, Kabul. They attacked Kandahar, they've attacked some of the major cities, and they've tried to take territory. And I think this fighting will continue because even if talks are going to be held in the next month or so, or maybe a bit longer, the Taliban want to be in a very strong position. And much of the speculation has been that, in fact, they want to take an entire province, or they want to even take a major city, so that they can talk to Kabul from a degree of strength.
Very interesting to talk to you. Thanks for your insight. Ahmed Rashid, author of Taliban Descent into Chaos, joining us via Skype. Thank you for your time.